Yeah.
Perfect. I'm ready.
All right. You go.
Oh, yeah. Alright. Okay. Take care of the land.
With management.
I can be the best me.
For me and my family.
School is much bigger than me.
Working hard so I can be where I need to be.
Working towards where I want to be.
With lights,
Or none
the only thing stopping me,
is myself.
the plan is to take care of many that need healing.
Take care of the land.
Take care of yourself.
In sociology and psychology,
We have a better understanding of the world we live in.
the world is much bigger than us.
Pero juntos
But together,
nos encontramos.
we found each other.
Nos vemos, escuchamos.
We see and we hear each other.
Vicky and I
Tony y yo
will be talking about our lives.
hablaremos también sobre sustentabilidad.
Climate change, economy, equity.
Welcome to our podcast. Hi, I'm here with Tony Gonzalez, my colleague and friend for this project. He's 22. He will be graduating this spring and majors in English with a focus in poetry. He loves to visit the Cocosine River at his school in his off time. Not to brag, but he's an excellent artist within his music. He loves giving back to the community in Chicago. Tony has 4 siblings, 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and he is the youngest of them all. He's one of the kindest humans I've known so far. Welcome, Tony.
Appreciate you very much. But with that being said, hi, I'm here with one of the kindest human beings I have ever met. I was lucky enough to get paired with her this fall. With 19 years of existence, Vicky is one of the kind, as she's always going an extra mile for what she loves, which is her family and schoolwork. She has overcame many obstacles in her life, and with great management led her to majoring in business and loves to give back to her community. Welcome, Vicky.
Thank you so much. So now, for everyone to be on the same page, I'm going to read one definition of sustainability. So, the UN World Commission of Environment and Development defines this sustainable development as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability to future generations to meet their own needs. And most of the sociologists approach this topic as a problem rather than a solution because it's very complex and it has varied meanings. And there is this treadmill theory that predicts that environmental destruction it's going to happen due to the current trends of human activities, but it is too pessimistic. So we are going to talk about this, but I wanted to ask you, Tony, how do you perceive this acceleration of climate change in your life?
I would say, like, right now it's happening. Like, as we speak, I mean, there's, you know, global warming happening. You got disrupted ecosystems are happening. Just a lot of weather changes. And this puts a lot at risk. And the reason why I say that, the things that are at risk is like the food security, water availability, also, just like health as well for humans. And it is, I wouldn't say it happens everywhere, but it happens in particular like vulnerable spaces and regions. Humans do have a big impact on like climate change. Like, if we take care of the world, then the world will take care of us.
I love how you talk about these fast changes that tend to crash out. And I wanted to ask you a little bit more about if the climate change has an impact on your life.
I wouldn't say climate change has like a negative impact on my life currently. I I feel like Ohio has been having pretty warm weeks, which I can't complain about because I love warm weather. I'm not into the cold, but I just know that we're coming for a rude awakening. Just because with all this warm weather, I'm gonna, enjoy it while I have it, but I know the winter is gonna be a very, very cold one with a lot of snow, unfortunately. But yeah, it doesn't really have a big impact on me right now, but soon for sure.
And that's perfect. That is definitely what we want to learn from this connection from the other side of the world. That how are we in Ecuador and how it is there in Ohio. And another question I have is, why do you think some communities or some societies engage with behaviors that hinder sustainability? Why do you think that happens?
The first thing that comes to my mind is just like misinformation. Um, I feel like not understanding like what we are doing every single day, not fully grasping the long-term impacts. Because some people think short term, they only think for the moment. But usually when you think for the moment, bad things start to happen. And unfortunately, like, you know, with those bad decisions, like a lot of things are hindered. Um, but yeah, that's what I would say about that for sure.
Okay. So in this sustainability uh, theme, we talk about economy, and you were with this concept of survival mode. Can you tell me something about it?
Yeah, so when it comes to survival mode, um, I really feel like it depends on where you live, but survivor mode is like something I've been through. And like something I could like really get personal on is like how an environment can shape a person. And personally, like my best friend unfortunately let the environment get to him, and within like the environment getting to him, he lost his life, unfortunately. And I mean, that's a story that I could always tell to the kids and tell to people that are close to me to realize, like, you really got to make the right decisions because you only get one life, really. Um, with like the environment shaping somebody, like I can say me personally, I didn't let the environment get to me because I had a long-term goal of trying to make my people proud. Um, but I really, really do know that like I seen it first person that an environment can make you a negative person or a positive person. It's something that you wake up to every single day, something that you see every single day. It's like a habit. So just being aware of your surroundings is like the biggest thing, really. But enough about me. How can an environment shape a person? And like, what's your response to that?
Okay, so first, thank you for opening up like that, and I'm sorry to hear about your best friend. Um, wow, it's a big question because I relate this with the kids that I work with because sometimes I take care of kids in a club here in Quito that is Quito Tennis Golf Club, and it's for rich people. Like they do have a lot of money. It's ridiculous, and I see how that environment shapes them, and these kids are kids that do not care about recycling, for example, and they do not care about using just the material they need for their projects, and they are all about consumption and using everything they can even though they don't need it. And it's sad to see that. It's how the families that they come from makes them people that are not aware of what's happening in the world. So the environment definitely shapes the way people approach to their daily life activities.
Totally agree. I totally agree. But I mean, if it comes to kids, it's different, of course. But I know
Yeah.
what you mean. I see what you mean. Um, but with sustainability, I know we're like really big on that. With sustainability, how does survivor mode come into play? And like, what does survival mode mean to you?
Mhm. So right now, I think I'm living in a survival mode because of these power outages I was talking about. For example, in my survival mode was to change my routine. Usually, I sleep at 12 o'clock and wake up at 5 a.m. something like that. But with these power outages, I had to sleep earlier and wake up like at 2 a.m. and doing my homework at that hour. And I feel like I'm privileged that that is my survival mode. But it's something a lot of young people and a lot of people in Ecuador have to do because of not having enough electricity for all day, like 24/7, as we were used to, and what's normal around the world. So yeah, that would be my survival mode.
Oh, something I really do appreciate is like you're very humble about like your situation right now. And I feel like a lot of people that would be in your shoes would be complaining. And that's just because of like not having little things. But like I really do appreciate like you just being you within the environment that you're in. And I mean you using your resources the way you can. And like I know how that feels and I know how that is. So I really, really do resonate with you. But with that being said, um, with survival, I don't believe that there's an age limit towards that. Um, you know, I don't believe that there's an age limit when it comes to hard times. So, with that, like, how does age play a part in survival? And like, how can you expand on that?
Yes, I agree with that, with the sentence of there's no age limit for having bad times, and we right now we are all living the same problems, even if you are 5 years old or if you are 60 years old. Um, but I think age that does play a role because the ones that are affected the most are young people. And with young people I mean us, because right now the situation is not looking good, but in the future is looking worse. So I love how young people have this empowerment of changing things, of protesting against industries that affect our environment, and how we care, how we truly care because we are living in a world that it wasn't sustainable. So for this podcast, I wanted to ask you, what would be the macro conclusion that you would say about all those things that are really important and are really personal, and
I
what
would say, and when it comes to a conclusion, like balance is everything. You can't just be one-sided with whatever you're doing. If it comes to, um, you know, just helping the earth or just helping yourself, it has to go both ways. Um, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, like at one point in time, we were the youth. So like, we have to think for the youth, you know? Like, yeah, like right now we're the role models. So we have a very, very big stage right now, and people don't realize that. It's bigger than us, and if we don't take action now, then like we're in trouble like we already are. Like we are already big trouble, but like if we just keep doing what we're doing and just empowering the youth, um, and showing them the right things, then I feel like we should be in a better spot. But it's gonna take more than one person to do that, of course, you know. But that's why the world has us, and you know, uh, I feel like we could keep doing, good things in this world to, just help. But yeah, how about you? What would be your conclusion to this podcast?
I agree with you, and I want to follow with your answer, and I think we should empower communities, empower ourselves to make these changes. And to do so, we need to give ourselves resources and knowledge, like having to research in order to do this podcast. I think it's one of the things we can do. And I think this will help to address the systemic inequities that truly foster more sustainable behaviors. And yeah, I love that.
I just want to say one last thing before we go. Whatever you believe in, whatever you want to achieve in, you can do it, but it's up to you at the end of the day. Like, you have a whole bunch of power in your hands. Best believe that you can make anything happen, but it all starts with you. So believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you. That's all I'm gonna say.
And the last thing, go big or go home.
Yeah, let's do this.
Oh, thank you for listening to this podcast.
Appreciate y'all.
Bye bye.